Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It is October 26, 2021, and these are the Charles Perry Stalker podcast. We're going to do the disclaimer, use allegedly, for everything asserted. Mr. Perry's innocent till proven guilty in a court of law, and that's about to happen. And we have use the but-for standard. If he were not, stalking, harassing, committing every RICO violation in the book, we wouldn't have to do these podcasts. And these are to not harass him. He's not a victim. This is part of the Me Too movement. Every woman is allowed to speak out against someone who is committing a domestic violence act against her, me included. Mr. Perry's not special. He's decided to commit a crime against me every day for a decade. He's not entitled to get away with that or to his privacy or silence. He's not entitled to a lie. He thinks he is, but he's not. So apply the but-for standard. But for his acts of violence against me, there would be no reason to then need to document what he's doing and establish premeditation and malicious intent, would there? All he had to do is leave me alone. I moved twice to get away from him and to avoid a conflict. I packed up my shit. It took all damn day. I uprooted my kid. My son was young at the time. He was still at home. When we moved twice to get away from him. So you put my kid through all that. Twice to get away from you, and you will not go the fuck away. So but for that, we wouldn't do a podcast, would we? They're in some sort of court proceeding. They were talking about that last night. They've been planning a whole lot of stuff. They took all my cigarette butts. I've documented that for a long time. That started at Lady Godiva's. So keep in mind, everything that happens goes to Mr. Wishcamper and Mr. Miller. Everything. They have gotten thousands and thousands of pieces of evidence or documentation or something to establish or document what you were doing. I don't know who the fuck you think you're fooling. You have fallen down and bonked your little head on the pavement or something. Our shrink has been documenting very carefully. He cannot properly assess a situation and respond appropriately. He's not doing it. He's not. He's not reacting appropriately to what's happening and to what's being said. I don't think he understands it, she said. Because when you've gotten quoted from the McNamara email of 2015, 6 years ago. Every day you try to do something to me, I find out. And you always want to know, who told on me? Who's my leaks? And I've said it every day, the same thing. I don't know. Wouldn't help you if I did. We all want you gone. You're the source of drama and problems. You sit around all day and think of one problem after another problem after another problem, and everybody's sick and tired of you, Mr. Perry. I don't think you get it. You can't properly assess the situation, but if somebody's quoting you verbatim every fucking day for 6 years, and you still go at it, and then you get quoted again, and you still go at it, and you keep going, who's telling, and for 6 years you're told the same thing. You don't get that information. You don't get it. You kill people. You're not getting that. And you ask the same question. People start to wonder about your sanity. What is wrong with someone that does that? That cannot properly assess the situation and respond appropriately. We think it is hysterical when we say, get the fuck out. You cease and desist right now. Get the fuck out. He's asking, who told? Listen, get the fuck off me. And when you act like you think you have a choice, we laugh. It is hysterical. And then you get quoted again. And then you ask who told. And then you get quoted again. Then you ask, and our shrink goes, he can't properly assess the situation and respond appropriately because he's been quoted every day for 6 years. And he thinks he has a choice. Wow. Who the hell is that stupid? You think you still have a romance. Who the fuck is that stupid? Nobody's in love with you. This is a job for me. That's it. You're a job, Mr. Perry. When you have to ask me every fucking day who told on you, how'd you find out? How'd you know? You got a court proceeding right now. And in fact, in that court proceeding, This was recorded last night. We did talk to Catherine, and she said she don't remember Cynthia. But you're going to have some problems with witness testimony because everybody's scared to death you're going to do to them what you did to her. She's got texts, she's got emails, she's got recordings of your guys threatening her or trying to coerce her somehow. Pintos, here, just be creeped out for a couple hours for $5,000. You'll be $5,000 richer. You know, she's got all that. That's hard evidence. That's fact. There's dates. There's times. You can't explain. You threaten and threaten and threaten and threaten, and everybody's scared to death. He'll do to us of what he's doing to her. We got to do what he wants. We don't have a choice. You do have a choice. Watch what I'm doing. It's called dragon slaying. It's called dragon slaying. And if you have to ask me who told, you got a problem. And that's happened to every day for 6 years to all of you. And it never happened before you met me, did it? And our shrink is like, wow, this guy is not getting it. He is not getting it. He's not seeing it. He's in a lot of trouble if he's getting quoted every damn day. And he gets up and goes right back at it like nothing's happening. It's like he's in a fucking hurricane. And he's pretending he's not. Complains about the wind, complains about the rain. Who's making the wind blow? Who's making the rain come down? Who's making the buildings fall over? But you act like you're not getting it because you still get up and you do the same thing every day that gets you those results exactly. You have no date. No woman loves you. You're repulsive. If you like a woman, you do what women like. You do every repulsive, turn-off, bullshit thing no normal person could even think up. Much less do. You don't know you're weirdo or what? I don't know. Our shrink thinks you don't. You should be embarrassed as hell. Normal guys don't do what you do and they can get a date and you can't. Didn't occur to you, Mr. Perry, there's a reason you can't get a date and everyone else can? And no one else does what you do? That maybe you don't get a date. You don't attract women peeping, hacking, making one problem after another problem, starvation, torture, and torment of women and children. You're in trouble for human rights violations, sir. Big trouble. Big, big, big trouble. You seem unable to properly assess situations and respond appropriately. Something's wrong with you. It's not that hard. When you're quoted every day for 6 years, you ought to know you're in the middle of a fucking hurricane. You better wake up. You better wake up. So, we also assert the First Amendment rights and Fifth Amendment rights and all fucking constitutional rights. We assert them right here, right now. Selective prosecution is illegal. There's a thing called litigation harassment, Mr. Powell. You're in trouble for that. You're in trouble for that. You are in a lot of trouble for that. And this thing where, you know, can we just get this guy to say that? And can we, Mr. Powell, do you know how many times you've been recorded saying that? Can we just get Frank Morrison to lie and say Cynthia just misunderstood him on these texts? Where are they? Maybe it's here, maybe it's not. I don't know. I gotta find it. So, yeah, here they are. These. Can we just get Frank Morrison to say she misunderstood something? And the guy goes, well, you can, but I don't think that'll work. Who was that? Was that? See, I'm not told who was on the recordings. I'm just playing the recordings. Was that Mike or Lucky, Mr. Powell? See, y'all didn't like Mike and Lucky because they were not going for your bullshit, were they? You did what you did to them. I don't know who the hell you think you are. You're not able to properly assess the situation and respond appropriately, are ya? Our shrink is baffled. Wow, these people are something. So is the judge that grants investigatory orders, Mr. Powell. Okay, so these are the texts between Mr. Perry and myself on December 2nd, 2011. Are we arguing about abortion here? Or pro-life, gun rights, or any kind of, issue, environmental, whatever, something. Whatever it is, Mr. Perry dreamed up in his wild, weirdo imagination, delusion, and decided he was going to go into a court of law and say, oh, she's got a political vendetta, when he knew good and well there's no such thing. Let me tell you something. When I'm pissed off, I rant like a motherfucker. I mean, my guys don't tell me everything because they know I rant like a motherfucker. When I'm pissed, everybody knows I'm pissed. They know just how pissed off I am. They know exactly what I'm pissed about. There is never a question about what I think. I'll just tell you. I will flat out fucking tell you what I think. I don't care. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. Very comfortable in my own skin. And I don't have any tolerance for stupid. Do you understand? I have no tolerance for stupid or incompetent or corrupt or criminals. None. I'm Chief Hall's granddaughter. He raised me to think a certain way. So that's how I think. That's who I am. That's what I do. Do you understand? You need to write this shit down because we're tired of saying the same thing again and again and again and again and again. Keep up. We're not slowing down for you. You're going to have to keep up with us. You don't have a choice. You're in the middle of a hurricane. And you just don't seem to get that. You're in the middle of a hurricane, and you cannot seem to get it. So, these texts, Mr. Powell, have not a fucking thing to do with anything political, do they? So you call up here, and you ask, can we just say Frank Moore? Because you need to make me look delusional. The whole plan was, we're going to send her home. We're going to harass the shit out of her. Make them claim she's harassing us, and then we'll just say she's crazy. She's delusional. Right. Okay, well, this phone call, Mr. Powell, that you made up to Oklahoma was recorded. Can we just say she's misunderstood something Frank Morrison said? I don't remember even what he said, but it pissed me off. Because Mr. Perry's spreading rumors that he and I were having an affair, and there was no affair. There was no affair. At this point, I'm still trying to be discreet in case his wife sees this. Some people check their spouse's texts. Well, I didn't want her worried about a non-affair, but her husband was spreading rumors about it all over Lubbock. It gets back to me. And he goes, Charles never asked her why she's pissed off, which means he already knew. And he doesn't deny spreading these rumors. He denies having employees. And everybody knew he had employees because she's naming them. Robin and Carl Tepper. Are your people telling Chris Wynn, you and I have a thing? There's no thing. You are off your nut. Stop saying shit like that. Stop acting like that. And the next thing you know, Powell thinks, oh, maybe we can just say she misunderstood something. Can we get Dennis to say he wasn't abused? And what were you told? His mother told everybody, Charles Perry's threatening me with death and false arrest. I've already set things up with my family in case he does that, and then he did it. And he lost his house. That's not healthy for a young man to have to go through. So as a child, he's not going to know whether he's abused or not, so don't make him lie. Jesus. Don't make him lie, Mr. Powell. He lost his home, Mr. Powell. You're responsible for that. We don't forgive you, by the way. If you apologized, I might think about it. You know, there's a thing about forgiveness. I will lose the anger about what you did when you stop doing it. But you re-traumatize us every fucking day you try to do it again. You've got a court proceeding, Mr. Powell. See, the guy also said she's got the I told you so factor in her favor. You've got too many of these recorded phone calls where you're going, can we get this person to just say, if you put just in front of it, Mr. Powell, does that make it okay? You act like you think it does. That if I go, can we get Mr. Frank Morrison to just say she misunderstood? If I use the word just, is that going to make it all right? Is that going to make it legal? Is that going to make it morally okay? Ethically okay? I don't know. Who do we go to for that? Is there someone we go to ask for a ruling, a judicial ruling? Judge, whoever. If Mr. Powell uses the word just in the sentence, does that make that crime okay and legal? Can we just get Dennis to say he wasn't abused? Can we just get Mr. Morrison to say she just misunderstood something? If you use just in it, does that make it legal? You got a Cracker Jack box law degree. I wouldn't ask my attorneys. I'm going to ask my prosecutor because your attorneys are too stupid to explain RICO to you. Mine's not. Our prosecutor's not. He's going to explain it to you, Mr. Powell. I'm pretty sure you're not going to like how that day goes down. Look at that right there. Mr. Perry did it again. Mr. Perry, you've altered my evidence again with your hacking. You just got a thing for altering evidence, don't you? You got a court proceeding? We told you so. We told you so. Right? Didn't we not? Because you guys are recorded all the fucking time. When 6 years later, every day you have to ask me, who told you that? How'd you know that? And the same is true for Mike Neely was drugged and didn't kill anybody. You committed perjury after perjury after perjury after perjury after perjury, Mr. Perry. You don't think you're about to go to prison? You need to get a grip on reality. You're making everybody laugh at you. He cannot properly assess the situation and respond appropriately. He can't do it. Doesn't have any power, and he doesn't have any control to do what everybody else can do just fine. He's in the middle of a hurricane and doesn't get it. If we've quoted you every day for 6 years, sir, what planet do you fucking live on that you keep going at it? Nothing changes if nothing changes. Have you heard that? A very common phrase. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You get the same results every day. You get caught, and you get told on, and you piss everybody off because the more drama you cause me. This started when you attacked me, dumbass. Come on. You're slow. You're pissing everybody off because you're slow. Are you retarded? Are you mentally retarded, Mr. Perry? That you can't realize when you do X, Y happens. It's very easy logic, critical thinking, reasoning. A reasonable person, by the way, that applies too. The reasonable person standard applies. A reasonable person would stop when you get quoted every fucking day while you're sitting around planning a crime. David, where are you? You mental too? Mr. Powell, you mental? I told you so. I told you so. I said that. I did tell you. I did say that. I did say they were trying to get my ringtone. I did say they were hacking and peeping. I did tell everybody they were trying to arrange a false arrest. I did tell everybody he was trying to do a murder frame up and he was taking all my cigarettes. Now he's got all kinds of my DNA. Gum, cigarettes, clothing items. I did say he's committing RICO Act violation after RICO Act violation after RICO Act violation. I did say he's about to go to prison. Because when you fuck with me, you get caught. And you still don't get that, do you? It's not clicking for you. Normal, easy concepts don't click for you, do they? It is unbelievable. We laugh at you. It is hysterical. I mean, it is so easy, it's not even fair. When you piss me off because you contact me and I asked you to stop. When you piss me off because I asked you to stop peeping. It's rape. It's rape, sir. When I asked you to stop hacking me, that's a crime, bitch. When I asked you to stop causing one problem after another, profound, catastrophic loss, people never get over, ever. One crime after another, you get caught. And that's never happened to you, David, Josh, Joe, or Matt before in your lives. And yet you get up and do the same thing again. And now we got 6 years of every fucking day you are recorded. And yeah, I can say I told you so. So I've got that. What are your witnesses going to say? You write a little script and hand it to them? Say what we tell you. Just say, you can just say this. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you can just say that. There's nothing wrong with that. And this guy's like, she just impugned every testimony we've got. And then they've asserted her Fifth Amendment right to fruit of the poisonous. There goes all our evidence because we haven't gotten one fucking thing legally. We're not supposed to know when she goes to work or where she works. That's stalking. You can't use evidence collected during the commission of a felony crime, can you? And I don't care what Tulsa police do. You know, we've done all this stuff. We got this last night. Tulsa police didn't help us with that. I'm not saying there's not one guy helping. There might be, there may not be. I can't confirm or deny. I'm not told that. What I'm saying as a whole, Tulsa police hadn't done shit. And 6 years, you're quoted and quoted and quoted. We're going to get her car. What's the mileage? How much gas does she have? Is she out of food yet? Is she going to go to work? Can we get all of our guys and take them to her, over there at Sensations and run off all her customers and take her cigarette butts? Now we got all her DNA. Jesus. She says she's never shot a gun. Get her lighter. We can scrape the DNA off that too. Right, Richard? We need to get her foot imprints. Right, Richard? You need my foot imprints? We can't do it at her house. We're not supposed to know where she lives. But we got a camera in her house, so we know when she's going to leave and where she's going to go to have our guys all there. Call us next time she comes in. And they're like, I don't know right now. Things are kind of, I don't know. Looks to me like you're in some trouble. Looks like you're in the middle of a hurricane. Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. We could do it. Looks to me like you're in the middle of a hurricane and you're in some legal trouble. So I'm not sure we should call you next time she comes here. Well, we got to get her foot in print. We got to get her shoe in print. You know how many people I've had go with there because you see me get ready? You see when you all sit around and talk about how much money does she have in her bank? How much money? I've seen her hunker down and starve before she'll go out there and give you what you want. That guy knows me pretty fucking well. He shouldn't, but he does, doesn't he? Are you the same guy that saw me, with your hacking, saw me pull up Mike's case? And he goes, watch this, she's going to find every fucking mistake they made. She's going to pick this case apart. She's a pro. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's going to find every fucked up thing they did to Mike Neely right now. In January 2020, I said Mike Neely was drugged and he didn't do shit. He has pulled off something no one else has pulled off. While drugged and unconscious, he beat a man to death and ended up with nothing on him. Not one mark. I think in the history of mankind that has never, ever happened. Depositions weren't even taken until May. It didn't hit the docket till June. So how did I know, Mr. Perry, that you drugged Mike Neely and he didn't kill anybody? You tried to kill him. He's a victim of attempted murder, and you have re-traumatized him and his family, and the Millers deserve to know Lucky Miller died in the line of duty. He did not die in a drunken brawl by some guy drugged and unconscious, and it magically ends up with nothing on him. You don't understand all the police that you pissed off when you did that. Just because people don't say things to your face, either they're afraid or they're a part of what we're doing. Huh? You're unable to properly assess the situation and respond appropriately. You think peeping is a date. Oh my God. Oh my God. What a whack job. What kind of whack job would think that? It is like rape. I've been physically raped and you voyeur rape me and it feels the same to me. So you got all this evidence that you shouldn't have known I was going to leave. You shouldn't have known where I was going to go. You shouldn't have known. And you did, illegally. So now you guys are all, oh gosh, now what do we do? There goes all of our evidence. Because, yeah, I asserted my Fifth Amendment right to protection of fruit of the poisonous. What court proceeding are you putting all this in? It's not admissible, is it? She impugned all of our witnesses. This guy says, fuck, now what? Now what? Charles, you keep acting like you think I care what you think. Listen, I nobody understands why you think that. You seem to forget who you're talking to. I mean, you really just act like you flippin' forget who you're talking to. Nobody's done more to catch your crime than me. All the stuff we've done, TPD didn't do shit. That doesn't mean there's not one guy there and one guy in Sapulpa and one guy at Creek County Sheriff's Department that helped, or maybe not. That's not your business. We don't have to tell you a thing. We don't have to tell you shit. What I'm going to tell you is, we've gotten a lot done right up under your nose. And you keep going, who told you? Who's telling? Who's talking? How'd you find out? And then you go right back out it the very next day. What's in her account? How much food does she have? Is she out of cigarettes? Is she about to go to the store? Only could know from voyeurism and hacking. There's no other way. There's no other way. I guess you cloned my phone. You cloned it. And you popping up this stuff and shutting this thing off and altering my evidence. You got a thing for perjury and altering or destroying my evidence. You guys didn't preserve a thing. When you did your little false arrest thing, you threatened that I told everybody about starting in August 2015. They're trying to arrange a false arrest. It's election time. Every time Perry's got to run for office, he needs to shut me up because I know where the bodies are buried. Right? Never happened to you before. Can't properly assess a situation and respond appropriately, can you? Can't do it. You have no ability, no power, no control, and you're slow. mentally. Nobody sits in a hurricane and sees all the wind blowing and all the rain coming and buildings falling down and goes around and goes, oh, there's no hurricane. Dude, you're drenched. You're fucking drenched. You're pretty much naked. The hurricane is blowing all your clothes off. Everyone else can see it. What the hell's wrong with you? Don't ask us to slow down. You need to keep up with us, TPD. Don't harass me for a corrupt senator. That's taxpayer dollars done. You don't have the right to blow through tax dollars. That's not your money, is it? I didn't come up here to pick a fight with y'all. I should have had some camaraderie with ya. I'm police family. Remember? 3 generations. I'm born into it. I'm born into it. I'm not the dumb stripper he said I was, am I? It's not quite like he said, was it? When somebody takes you evidence, you should look at it so that it doesn't kick you in the ass later. That's what my granddad always said. Just don't make crap up. It'll kick your ass later. The evidence will tell you a story. It's going to tell you what happened. You put the pieces of the puzzle together, and it is what it is. Like it or not. It may not be the cute little kitty on the front of the box. It might be a horse's ass. And you may not like that, but it is what it is. And if you don't admit what it is, if you don't tell yourself the truth and deal with reality, down the road it's going to kick your ass hard. He was right, don't you think? You got my DNA, boy. Howdy. Mr. Perry's typing in my phone last night. I have your DNA. We have facial recognition. I'm like, well, Mr. Perry, you hacked me. Do you have Alzheimer's? Because Mr. Wishcamper has about 10,000 emails about that subject alone. Because you've been doing that for years. We got your DNA. We got your DNA. We got your DNA. We got your facial recognition. We got your face. We know. You've said it over and over and over and over and over. And you got my cigarette butts. And I've told people. And Philip has about 10,000 emails about that too. So does Mallory. Over and over. You say the same fucking thing. We get it. We get it, Mr. Perry. You've got this. You can do this. You're almighty powerful Charles Perry. You can put people in jail and kill them, and you think you're getting away with it. Not this time. You're not paying attention, motherfucker. You're in the middle of a legal hurricane. Your clothes are all blown off. You're drenched, and you're the only one that doesn't get that. Mr. Perry, why is it you think I care what you think that you keep trying to talk to me? Nobody understands that. You weren't asked, were ya? When you contact me, Mr. Perry, it pisses me the fuck off. Because I didn't ask you what you think. I said don't contact me. When you continue to make contact with a woman who asked you to stop, you're stalking and you're harassing. In any form at all. Weirdo, as you come up with the weirdest, fucked up ways to contact people. It is unbelievable. If it's weirdo, you do that. That's a turn on for women. So don't tell us you like women. You don't. If you go to a fetish club, Mr. Perry, you got to pay for peeping. It's not free. You're going to pay me $1,000 a day for using my body for your entertainment. You're going to pay an extra $2,000 a day for doing it without my consent against my will. I don't think you're getting it, sir. You are not getting it. It's pissing us off. So this thing right here is what they were talking about, Cheryl's email, because we just said that I had consulted a shrink when I first got home. And I said, they got 2 Texas Tech physicians that have told everybody I'm delusional. And he goes, well, I can't make that diagnosis without seeing your evidence. Because the way I make a diagnosis of delusion is I look at the evidence. And if you see something I don't see, then yeah, maybe you have a problem with delusion. But if I can't see what you see and they destroyed your evidence, my guess is you're not. And if you're telling everybody they were trying to arrange a false arrest, and they did, and all you did was follow the law in Oklahoma, my guess is you're not delusional. They are. So what I said was, actually, Cheryl saw something that I didn't see. So did Stephanie Bradley out in Manford, the black Lexus with Texas plates. Well, everybody saw that. She wrote a statement about it. Laura wrote a statement about people pulling up there taking pictures of me. Not only that, she called Lucky 3 times and complained about it. She goes, it's making us all uncomfortable. One day we're walking through the parking lot And this car comes through, and boy, she got, stiffened up. You could tell it made her anxious and uncomfortable, Mr. Perry. You make people creeped out. You make people disturbed. You make people uncomfortable, and you piss everybody off all the time, every day. And it's not that hard to get information. You're not getting it. You have no ability to properly assess a situation and appropriately respond, do you? Do you, David? Do you, Matt? Do you, Josh? Do you, Joel? Joe? What is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you? Who do you think you're fooling? Who the fuck do you think you're fooling? You guys sit in your little meetings and convince each other everybody's as dumb as you. It is unbelievable. We'll just wait till the dust settles and then we'll try it again. Yep. And then you talk about it again, and now we don't have one recording. We got 2 or 3 or 50, Richard. And then I go, well, I told you so. And this guy's like, she's impugned pretty much every witness we have because you're a threat to everybody. Everybody's scared you'll do to them what you did to her. There goes everything. She's got texts, she's got emails, she's got recordings. And oh yeah, the I told you so factor. Oh fuck, now what? She saw you come into that restaurant, and I wasn't even there. So Laura gets all, tensed up, and I go, I think that car might actually be legitimate. I'll go check into it. I'll go over and I talk to the guy. The guy didn't even fucking speak English. Chinese dude. He was lost. So we just pointed him out whatever you're looking for, it's not here. So that one was legit, but that's how bad it got for everybody else there, Mr. Perry. She's calling Chief Miller all the time. You got to do something about this menacing traffic we've got over here. It's very disturbed. It's disturbing. It's upsetting everybody. You need to make that guy stop. We don't like it. There's kids here. What are they going to do to her? Why are they doing this to her? What in the world? Like he said, wait, listen, you're going to have to get me tags. You're going to have to get me tags. I can't do anything without tags. You think? So, 3 times she called him because people were pulled up there like that. And then Mr. Perry's calling, she's a prostitute. And the Laura comes to me and she goes, they're accusing you of being a prostitute, and we're telling Lucky, no, there's no guys coming in and out of her room. And I go, well, the other thing is, there's guys pulling up here taking pictures of me that you're calling him complaining about. Don't you think they'd have a picture of it if I was a prostitute? Yeah, probably. I don't know. 1 and 1 is 2. But you're unable to properly assess the situation, Mr. Perry, and respond appropriately. You think I care what you think. Nothing is more bizarre than that. You weren't asked. You were told stop contacting me. It's called stalking. It's a felony. You want to subjugate. We just went over the whole domestic violence thing. Domestic violence is defined as one person wants control over another. And then to do that, it's physical abuse, economic abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse. You don't think that is psychological abuse right there, what you just did? Having those guys come up and take pictures of me? It is. I just told you Laura got all tensed up. It made her very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. When you go into a courtroom and you lie about somebody, it makes them uncomfortable, Mr. Perry. When you go threaten people and say what we tell you to say. You can just say this. There's nothing wrong with that. You can just say that. There's nothing wrong with that. And you get intimidating. Or you can end up like her. You're exerting control. You're trying to subjugate. We went over that. Lonnie Athens, criminologist, was also abused, Charles. What's your excuse? He's doing something good with his abuse. What are you doing with yours? Looks to me like you're its bitch. You're its bitch. It owns you. You don't have power or control over it, do you? You're pathetic. You're pathetic. Everyone else, 99% of the population, does not act like you. You need to stop acting like this. Stop acting this way. You're in the middle of a legal hurricane, and you don't get that. And you guys go around. You're in some court proceeding. I'm not told specifics, but I'm told enough to know you're in a court proceeding of some kind. And you want to get this person to just say that or just say this. Right. And you're taking all my cigarette butts, Mr. You don't want my footprint. So, because, it's election time, Mr. Perry needs another false arrest. You want to get me on socks. Oh, she's been dancing for 6 years with socks on. You got an elected official from Texas coming up here complaining he's the victim. I moved twice to get away from you. You're not the victim. So believe me when I say I have had so many cops on me, it's not even funny. I have given so many lap dances to so many police officers, off duty or undercover. It is not even funny. Tons of them. Because there's an elected official claiming he's a victim. We got to find something. Let's find some way to arrest her. And I said this. It's been said. In 2015, those 2 cops came and talked to me at Sensations. And they said, Sin, what the hell is going on with this guy in Texas? He asked us to find a way to arrest you. Just find something. We were like, nope, that's not why we signed up to be police officers. But that doesn't mean he won't find some jackass that'll do it. There's some corrupt guys out there. In Oklahoma, there's a lot. He'll find some. So watch yourself. I wrote the U.S. attorney a letter right then. He's using police to harass me. That's illegal. Litigation harassment. The criminal justice system, Mr. Powell and Mr. Perry, and whoever, locals, is to catch a bad guy like Mr. Perry coming up here doing shit like that. It isn't to subjugate the victim of domestic violence, is it? You're blowing through taxpayer money like it's your own personal money, Charles. This was as illegal as it gets. You send me the subpoena. I'm a witness in a murder trial, and you knew it. And you're contacting me. Wow, this is witness tampering right here. That's your habit. That's your thing. Altering or destroying evidence, tampering with witnesses, both RICO violations. Our prosecutor's going to sit you down and explain to you why this was illegal. Because you seem to have dumb fucks for attorneys that can't do it. And you aren't able to properly assess the situation and respond appropriately. You have no control or power. I'm not in love with you. 10 years, you have not one date and no reciprocation. None. You're pathetic. So he wants to know, how did I know Mike had to be begged to go? Wow. In other words, do you know who did that? Who coaxed him? Because we premeditated his murder and Lucky Miller's murder. Because they weren't putting up with our shit out in Manford. They weren't putting up with it out there. David Robertson had his employees staying right next to me. They weren't putting up with it, were they? And he wants to know who's the other victims. Who else is talking? Witness tampering. Right here, sir. Who else have you tampered with? What else? What'd you threaten him with? Can you just say XYZ? There's nothing wrong with it. And you get all intimidating. We've heard that. We've heard you say it. Because you're recorded a lot. More than you know. More than I say. More than I say. We're dragon slayers, bitch. For 6 years. Since the McNamara email. See, you don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know. Guys that can do this. It's called dragon slaying. That's not your name. You're just the temporary butt-in. The selfish one. Causing the fear and the sadness. You're a butt-in. You can't properly assess the situation, can you? Yep, this is the McNamara email. Since this time, jackass, you've been recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded. That's when your hurricane started. Well, it actually started before then. This is when the first time I was allowed to say something. And you did this. You just changed it up a little, didn't you? You just changed it up a little. You didn't include my son. Because McNamara is juvenile court, isn't she? The funniest thing is I used to know a lot of judges in Lubbock from LARW, the Republican Women's Club that I was in. I was a Republican, remember? And now what am I? Doesn't matter. I haven't voted. I quit voting in 2012 to avoid having to deal with you. I'm born into politics. I'm in politics all my life. I have a whole lot of connections you don't even know about. Still. You know nothing about it. But you know this, I'm quoting you verbatim every day since 2015. And you want to know who your leaks are, and you want to know who told. And I say the same thing every day. I'm not told that, and you're sure shit not going to get told that. It's none of your business. It's none of your business. Now, I've told you and told you and told you and told you and told you. Do not contact me. I hate it. It pisses me off. Do not cause one more problem. Do not cause any more stress or hardship. Get the hell out of here. You don't have a choice. And you act like you think you do. And we're laughing at you. Unable to properly assess the situation and respond appropriately, Your Honor. At your age, you ought to be able to. At your age, you ought to be able to. Mr. Powell, every time you go to a witness and say, can you just say? There's nothing wrong with that. Can you just say this? Can you just say that? You got some legal problems coming with that. You don't tell people what to say that you want to put on the stand and make them lie so you can get another false arrest because Perry's in another election year and that's what he needs. And you all need a smear campaign. And I've been doing lap dances for cops because y'all have had cops all over me. Just find something. Just find something. Because we got this little girl out of Texas that can't act like a man and move on and have some dignity. And he's a little whiny drama queen. And she rejected him. And so now he's he's just domestic violence, subjugate. Trying to find a way to false arrest her, to subjugate. It's called witness and victim intimidation. RICO violation after RICO violation. I mean, you guys are something. And you think nobody notices. We all notice. We all see it. You can walk around with your eyes closed all you want. We see you. My son grew out of that. Close his eyes, run through the house. Don't see me, Mom. Don't see me, Mom. Okay. We all could see him. He grew out of it. You're an old fart. Why haven't you? Why haven't you? Well, you make all my skin crawl, Mr. Perry. Every day, all the time, you make it crawl. I moved twice to get away from you and to avoid a conflict. Had you just left me alone, you wouldn't need a cover-up right now, and you don't have a cover-up. You don't have one. So I give all the, I take my shoes off so that I don't poke a hole in the furniture. Been doing it for 6 years, but I keep socks on because I guess there's ambiguity in the law, I'm told, but as long as your feet are covered, there's nothing wrong with it. It's legal. Nobody's doing some kind of extra prostitution thing. I'm just taking my shoes off. Guess what? Girls get their we're wearing these big old heels. It hurt, your feet hurt. Girls take their shoes off because their feet hurt. You gonna throw them in jail for prostitution for that? Stormy Daniel, selective prosecution, litigation, harassment. Ask the Miller kids if they give a shit whether or not I dance with my socks on or not. I'm not doing extras in the VIP. I'm not doing extras anywhere. I'm just taking the shoes off so I don't poke a hole in furniture. Nothing wrong with that. And I have socks on. My feet are covered. Fuck you that you would even consider doing that to me. 6 years, it's been fine. But now it's election time. Mr. Perry needs a smear campaign. Selective prosecution. Go find a girl that's actually doing the prostitution and get her. Because you're misusing taxpayer funds. You're misusing taxpayer funds. That's not your money to blow through. Right? I've not killed anybody because if my guys know this, and that you're in some sort of, courtroom now, and you're sitting around discuss. I'm gonna pause this for a minute. Mr. Perry's he's really messing with my stuff today. Okay, now we're back. So now we have evidence twice. He's altered my evidence, right? Okay, he's cloned my phone. He loves doing that shit. So what did I say here to Mr. Quinn Sullivan? I think I said I don't want a scandal. I want to be left alone. In 2014, I hadn't gone to the media yet. I was talking about a man that I wanted to be, Fabian. I want to be with this man, and Charles is butting in. Charles is threatening him. He and I sat down and talked about this. You know what he said to me, Charles? I think you deserve better than to have to spend your whole life being harassed by this guy. I think you deserve better. So, that's why he wins and you lose. You don't get a woman harassing her. If what you're doing isn't working, then you stop doing it. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So now we're convinced it's not women you like. It's men. Because what you do all day disgusts and disturbs women. Peeping is a turnoff. It's weirdo. Hacking is a serious invasion of privacy. It's disgusting. If it's criminal, that means people don't like it when you do that. That means a whole lot of people sat down. You know it takes thousands of people to pass a law. How many thousands of people got together and passed a law making stalking a crime, hacking a crime, voyeurism is a crime, harassment is a crime, threatening people is a crime. And a lot of these laws aren't just state laws, they're also federal. So you've got not just local people, but you've got federal. So there's stalking laws federally, there's harassment laws federally. I mean, there's both. That's a lot of people that don't like what you do. So go into a bar, pick up find the ugliest, most desperate chick in there and tell her what you do to me all day and see if she'll go home with you. See, other guys can get a date and they don't act like you. So why do you act like you act? Thinking you're going to get a date with a woman. I don't love you. You don't have a woman that loves you. But you're surrounded with deviant men who are just like you. Like attracts like. When you fuck with me, you get caught. That's it. That's the only thing that you've had happen. And you can't properly assess the situation and respond appropriately. You still try to talk to me like you think I care what you think. Try to remember who it is you're talking to. I really don't. If you can't properly assess the situation and respond appropriately, and I'm sitting here quoting you day after day after day after day after day after day, remember who it is you're talking to. You weren't asked what you think. I said, don't contact me. Get the fuck off me, didn't I? That's what you were asked to do. No one cares what you think. You're not all there. Might as well go down to a mental hospital and ask those people, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should, do you think I should live in Oklahoma or move? Oh my God, wow. Wow. Talking about my car, how much gas does she have? Is she going to work? What's it to you? You shouldn't know that. You know that information illegally. Nobody actually calls me and asks me those questions. Yet they're talking about it all the time because they get it from hacking me. They get it from voyeurism. Illegal means stalking, harassing, anything obtained illegally can't be admitted. And you're sitting around in your little meetings. Let's get all her cigarettes. Then we got all her DNA. How tall is she? What's her shoe size? Let's see if we can't frame her for this murder. Because Charles Perry's got to run for office again, and we need a smear. And you already did it to Mike, and oh my God, you don't know who you piss people off. All the wrong people. The more you contact me, the more you peep and hack, the more you bother us and threaten us and go into court and lie and lie and lie and lie and ruin my relationships with people I love that you shouldn't even know. The more problems and drama you sit around causing every day in your little meetings, the more hardship. The longer he's in jail for what you did, the harder my guys go at you. And then we get what you just said again. Again. She's got the I told you so factor. That's a problem. We're going to put people on the stand to just say this and just say that. Well, everybody's scared to death. Charles is going to do to them what he did to her. So we got some problems with credibility, witness tampering, witness intimidation. That's kind of his thing. That's kind of his thing. And she's got the I told you so factor. Because he keeps doing what she said he's going to do. She says it months before. He's recorded saying he's going to do XYZ. And then he does XYZ. Thinking nobody will suspect a thing. We all do. You're off your nut. You're crazy. You're fucking off your nut. Who is it you think you're fooling? We want to know. I want names. Who is it you think you're fooling? Because I promise you, if I go talk to them, they're not fooled at all. They're just scared of you. Because you like to witness tamper. You like to threaten. Look what I can do and get away with. I've got power. Look what I can do and I can fuck you over and get away with it. Look what I've done to her. I'll do that to you. So you get on that stand. You say what I tell you to say. There's nothing wrong with that. Just say it. Is that what you're doing? Looks like it is. So this guy's like, Catherine doesn't fucking Remember her. Is that what you told her to say? I don't remember her. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me at all. The fact is, Cheryl saw her coming in every week. You've got texts, you've got emails of people that you sent in to where I am in Oklahoma, not where you are. This isn't happening in Lubbock. This is happening in Tulsa, where I live, or out at Sensations, where I work, or at Stillwater, where I work. It's happening in Oklahoma. Do y'all live here now? We heard you did. We heard you did. So you got all this, right, Mr. Perry? Perjury after perjury after perjury after perjury. I'm not contacting her in Oklahoma. By the way, she wasn't in the courtroom to hear me say that and prove otherwise. I made sure she wasn't in there. The first hearing I was in, Judge Jody Jane, in Tulsa federal court, denied your motion to dismiss on jurisdiction, didn't she? And then I wasn't allowed into court again after that. I was allowed into court on the claim against default judgment I asked for against Joe Chadwick, because he didn't respond to anything at all. And the judge denied it on it's frowned upon, right? But Mark Warman was... do you know one of our guys saw Mark Warman in her office for half an hour before court? Yep. And then she's recorded after when I say, I'm going to file a motion to... I didn't say it to anybody. I just put it in my calendar, tentative date, to file a 12/10/31 motion to vacate on fraud. We want to get you on fraud, Mr. Perry. So there's a lot of things I'm not objecting to because I'm going to get you on fraud. I want you in jail for fraud. We're sick of you lying in court. Everybody's sick of it. So the harassment email didn't go into the objection in the federal case in Lubbock. I didn't put it in. I don't have to. What I did is I subsequently filed a motion to vacate on fraud, Rule 60, and then I entered it into evidence because I'm going to get you on fraud. I'm establishing, for the record, you committed fraud. And Judge Cummings denied it with no explanation, just denied. We're going to get him too. If he's on the take, if this is judicial bribery, we're going to get him too. He can go sit next to... You and Bubba and Judge Cummings can all... You can go party in prison all you want. We're not putting up with this. No one... This is corrupt. You're not doing it anymore. I've told you that. If I'm quoting what you just said, you don't think I'm serious? This is serious? You're not able to properly assess the situation and respond appropriately? You're not getting it. You're slow. Stop the criminal activity. Stop. You're fucking people over. We're all tired of it. Normal people don't like one person causing hardship for another. We don't like it, Mr. Perry. Stop. The more you do it to me, the more you're caught, aren't you? So I put it in my calendar in March. It was like March 2nd or 3rd. And Morrissey is recorded telling these guys. So I guess I have to do a better job than just saying it's frowned upon. Oh, wow. Yeah, you think? You think, Judge Morrissey? I mean, what is this? Do it right or go home. Right? You don't want... What is the Clarice episode? It's the second episode. Episode 2, season 1. Who's the Sheriff Rowan in this deal? Sheriff Rowan is my bitch, he says. The sex pervert says. The sex weirdo. They call it up here. This is the harassment email, Mr. Perry. This is what I held back. In the 137-C5... colon 18-CV-135-C. Mr. Perry did exactly what this email says months after I sent it. I did file an objection, but I didn't include this. Later, I filed a motion to vacate on fraud, and then I included it. You know why? What were you told? This a litigant wants to win the litigation. That's not what she's acting like. She's acting like this is about law enforcement. This is about getting you on fraud. Because she didn't put it in then. She held it back. She didn't have any obligation to give it to you. But you're a hacker. You forgot I had it. You have Alzheimer's? Did you forget I had it? You knew I had this. Months before you did it. And this was planned when I was in Lubbock for the first false arrest. Right when Justice Scalia dies, who is a champion of the First Amendment right to free speech. We're going to send her home, harass her. Then we're going to say she's harassing us. And then you did it. You did that. And I held this out until I filed the motion to vacate on fraud because I'm going to get you on fraud, Mr. Perry. I told Tulsa police he's got the fraud in the state case here. Get him. Get him on that. We'll get him on the rest. You get him on that. He needs to be put in a room. He needs to be Mirandized. And he needs to waive his right to counsel. Because I promise you, I can get confessions on all kinds of things. This guy wants to explain it to me. Why he's doing this stuff. Let him. Let him. And then you'll have to clean up another dead body. Did you really want to, Tulsa police? You know, like the first 48, I mean, come on with that. Come on with that. Taxpayer money is for taxpayers to be protected. Not false arrest and litigation harassment, and we got to subjugate because she's telling everybody where the bodies are buried. You got a serial killer, sir. Mr., whoever. A TPD, you got a serial killer here. Coming up in your state. Come and kill a cop. I mean, I know you guys are smart. I know you're not stupid. You know they killed Lucky and framed Mike. Everybody knows that. Detective Fife over there. You didn't fool anybody. Puts in the arrest report. Mike Neely has nothing on him. Not one mark. Not one injury. Except a little bit red swollen right hand. Only, not the left. And a busted lip from after the fight's over. Hotel John threw him face first into the floor. How in the world? No, he's done what no man could do. He's found unconscious. Treated with Narcan. I said it in January. It comes out. It's confirmed in depositions in May and June. Didn't hit the docket yet. It's not like I could pull it up, the case, online and read it and see it and go, oh yeah, that's what happened. Nope, this was before that. Because Mr. Perry's in a legal hurricane and he doesn't get it. He just goes right back at it. And then we get more. And then he goes right back at it. And then we get more. And he's never had a date and no one's in love with him. No woman. You're a turnoff. So who's the Sheriff Rowan in this? Who's the bitch of the sex pervert? Which one of you is that? That's your aspirations in your career as law enforcement? I'm going to be the bitch of a sex weirdo. Oh, please tell me that's not what you want. Please tell me that's not who you are. Please tell me that's not it. That we've just had a misunderstanding. And we need to clear the room and get to work. Put that bad guy away, right? I mean, sometimes it's about grace for locals, right? Maybe? I mean, start writing your speech or do the right thing. I don't care. It's going to happen either way. If I can quote him, it's going to happen. So, that's what they're talking about here is we got to just get somebody to lie. Catherine said she didn't remember anything. And the guy's, I wouldn't throw Catherine up there and say that. She's got texts. She's got emails from these men. 5 men. Terry, Mickey, Dave, Joel, and Pinto. Recorded. Or a text that's threatening. Or coercive. On and on and on and on. And the I told you so factor. Because you keep doing... You got these guys after you. Law enforcement, getting what you just said. When you piss me off, they go at you harder. Because we want this done. We want you gone. You're the source of problems and drama and hardship and fear and sadness. And everybody's sick and tired of you, Perry. And your delusion and your soap opera and your imaginary, gick. Guys who are normal can get a date and you can't. You make everybody's stomach turn. And you got to subjugate. Okay, it's election season. We get it. You need another smear campaign. You need another cover-up. So you guys are all in court right now, I guess, over something. Trying to figure out, what do we do? What can we say? How can we lie? How can we make this lie work and that lie work? And oh shit, now what do we do with all this evidence? He had her co-workers watching her on her phone and they breached attorney-client privilege. Now what do we do? They're not going to admit to anything, right? They're not going to admit they saw anything. We don't know what they saw. We don't know what they have. We don't know what they know. But they breached it because we know she was talking to her attorneys about, the club being empty on a Friday night when it shouldn't be because Perry's running everybody off because that's out everywhere. So what else did they know about that they saw that they shouldn't have? And why is he even going in there and asking her coworkers to watch what she does on her phone? My coworkers don't give a fuck what I do on my phone, man. They don't give a shit. You do. Gotta get her on something. What is it you wanted to see what I'm telling my attorney? Is she telling on me? Thousands of texts and emails about what you're doing to me in the forum state of Oklahoma. And yeah, I got the I told you so factor now. Because you can't stop. You go at it day after day, all day long. You can't control yourself, can ya? So there's all of these, weirdo. All of these. Mike Neely had not a mark on him. How the fuck do you beat somebody to death and have a red swollen right hand? And you're asleep, you're unconscious, you're found unconscious, treated with drug overdose, and a busted lip from something else completely. Unrelated. That man pulled off the impossible, didn't he? You are fucked from what you did to him. And the longer he sits in jail, the more fucked you are. I don't think you'll get it. Unable to properly assess a situation. You have hurt a family. You have ruined and turned upside down so many families. You have no idea how you pissed off the wrong people. The longer he sits in jail, the harder my guys go at you. And it is going to, the consequences of this legally for you are going to be astronomical for what you did to them. They're police. They're police. Then there's all this that guy's saying. She's got all these texts. See, she's got all these texts. I'm gonna let people can look at it that themselves. There's case law. Here's what you did to people. You can't stop, and you're pissing everybody off. You sit around on your fat, lazy, perverted ass all day, thinking up a problem, one problem after another problem after another problem, and you don't think people are gonna hate your guts. You cause people to lose something they love. I love my family. My communications with my family is nothing like it was before you came around and fucked it up. You had no business calling my family at all, David. You're in trouble too for that. You are in trouble, all of you. You're fucked more than ever in your lives, and you know it. Part of you knows it. And when we tell you, you stop because you don't have a choice, and you go right back at it, and you're quoted again. And we find out again. Who told? Who's my leak? You're not getting it. You're not getting it. When I'm quoting you verbatim, how does that happen? When I get the Fabian puzzle, who got that to me? You're in a legal hurricane, dumbass. Properly assess your situation and respond right, because you're not. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's like you asked for it. You asked for it. It's like you want to be caught. Who does this long and doesn't want to be caught? I don't know. But I'm going to ask you again. Cease and desist. Stay the fuck away from my family. Don't ask another person to lie for you. We just impugned all your witness testimony. We impugned it. If you got something illegally, Richard, fuck you. You can't admit it. There's no crime here to begin with. First of all, there has to be probable cause that a crime was committed. Telling somebody I don't want to have a relationship with you, and oh, by the way, you got caught trying to commit a crime. Richard, that's not a crime, dumbass. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you harassing someone who's done nothing but try to get away from a conflict? Try to get away from a conflict. I spent a week with no electricity and no food trying to help a police officer who's down. That's the right thing to do. And if I was told, if I had it to do again, knowing I was going to go through that, I would do it again in a heartbeat. I wouldn't think twice about it. Would you guys call over to Broken Arrow Police Department and tell them she's coming out, she's headed that way? How do you know I'm headed that way, first of all? Second of all, for what? What's the danger that you need Broken Arrow Police Department to keep an eye out for me? Huh? I might do a random act of kindness. Oh my God. Yes, Broken Arrow Police Department, watch for me coming over there. Maybe I'll do a random act of a kindness while they sit in a meeting and try to figure out how to commit a fraud on a court again. Do that. Do that. What the hell do you think you're doing? What's the probable cause, Richard? Who the fuck are you? Are you a crony or are you a police officer? Huh? Or both? Now, stop, all of you. Cease and desist. If it's not legal, don't fucking do it. Because I have help. And you know that. We don't like you, Charles. Go the hell away. I'm not in love with you. You're not, a hot, sexy love machine. You're hideous. You're heinous. You're disturbing everybody. You're causing everybody to be fearful and scared and upset and anxious and stressed out. And you will stop because you are being stopped. And you too, David. Are you as mental as he is? Can you not properly assess the situation and see you've been caught over and over and over and over and over and over again? And yeah, I've got the I told you so factor, don't I? Nobody asked you to do anything, Mr. Perry, except leave me the fuck alone. It's free. But since you decided to use my body for your entertainment, you're going to pay me. And I think you better start working on that right now. I think you better start working on that right now. You don't get to use my body for free. You go into a club, a fetish club, and you watch peeping, they make you pay for it. You're not doing it in a club, you're doing it in my house, and you're caught. Get the hell out. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. And we've quoted you every day since the McNamara email of 2015, and you think you have a choice? Mr. Perry is not able to properly assess a situation and respond appropriately. But are you all that nutty? I mean, come on with this. Now, stop contacting me. I didn't ask you what you think. I don't care. Shut up and get the hell out of my life today. You don't have a choice. Don't make a fool out of yourself thinking you do. I don't want you in my life. I don't want you in my life. Get off me today. Get out of my life today. Now. Don't contact another person I know. Fuck the hell off.